What if your twin flame hadn't appeared in your life just to offer affection and romance? Imagine that, behind that intense gaze and magnetic connection, there is a greater purpose, to awaken parts of your soul that have been dormant for years. It sounds provocative, but how many times have you felt that certain people enter your path with a mission that goes beyond the obvious? This kind of spiritual connection is not a coincidence, it's a calling. Many people believe they have found a soulmate when they experience overwhelming love, but the twin flame goes further. It doesn't arrive just to fill a void, but to be a true portal for spiritual awakening. It's as if life were saying, "You asked for signs from the universe. Here's one, in flesh and blood." This experience can be both sweet and painful at the same time, but it is undeniably transformative. The truth is, these encounters do not happen by chance. They mark the beginning of a spiritual journey that changes everything, the way you see love, yourself, and even the meaning of existence. It's not about a romantic destiny, but the evolution of the soul. And if this has already stirred something within you, stay until the end, because there are 7 deep signs that show how your twin flame awakens hidden dimensions of your essence. There is a common confusion between twin flames and soulmates. While a soulmate brings peace, harmony, and comfort, the twin flame comes as a shock to reality. It doesn't arrive merely to be your life partner, but to challenge you, stir up old wounds, and guide you toward a true spiritual awakening. It's as if the universe uses this person as a mirror, reflecting both your light and your shadows. The big difference is that beside a soulmate you find comfort. But with a twin flame, you find transformation. This spiritual connection is intense, often uncomfortable, but it carries a promise, that your soul is ready to take a quantum leap in its evolution. When someone enters your life with this kind of impact, it's not a simple romance, it's the beginning of a much greater journey. That's why every sign we are going to explore is not about ordinary gestures of affection. They are real signs from the universe, coded messages pointing toward the awakening of consciousness. And if you feel this topic resonates with what you are living, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That way, you'll continue receiving content that expands your spirituality. Now, let's dive into the first sign. Sign 1, the mirror of the soul. When someone meets their twin flame, the first impact is realizing that this person acts as a true mirror of the soul. They reflect not only your most beautiful qualities but also those hidden parts you avoid looking at. This can happen subtly or as a sudden shock, a glance, a word, an unexpected reaction. It's as if the universe placed before you someone capable of showing your own spiritual reflection. Imagine you carry a closet full of old, closed-away things. The twin flame arrives like a wind that opens the door, letting light in, but also dust and dirt. This reflection is not accidental. It is part of the spiritual awakening, because without realizing it, you begin to identify old emotional patterns. It could be an insecurity that surfaces during an argument or an old wound that reappears when least expected. This emotional mirror is deep and requires courage to face. A common story, someone began to notice that whenever they argued with their twin flame, old pains related to abandonment would surface. Over time, they realized these reactions were part of deep wounds, not just about the relationship itself. By exploring this, they embarked on a true spiritual journey, learning not only about the other but also about themselves. This initial sign prepares the soul for the next challenges, and it's exactly what leads us to the second sign. Sign 2, amplified intuition. One of the most striking signs of connection with your twin flame is the intensification of intuition. Suddenly, dreams become more vivid, premonitions occur more often, and synchronicities appear in an almost magical way, like seeing repeated numbers such as 1111 or 2222. This is not mere coincidence, it is a clear sign of spiritual awakening, showing that your spiritual connection is activated. It's as if, after this meeting, the rational mind begins to coexist with a sharper, sixth sense. Imagine walking down the street and feeling an inexplicable certainty about an important decision, or receiving messages that seem to echo directly from your soul. These moments are signs from the universe, a kind of silent communication that only those in deep connection can perceive. Here's something curious. A friend of mine began to notice that whenever she thought about her twin flame, she saw specific patterns in everyday life, a song playing repeatedly, a conversation interrupted by an unexpected sign. This led her to understand that this connection was not limited to the physical encounter. It was a continuous energetic exchange. And realizing this opens the way to something even more transformative, a deep spiritual awakening. Sign 3, the spiritual awakening begins. Meeting a twin flame brings a quiet but profound transformation, a spiritual awakening. It's as if something within you suddenly wakes up, sparking a genuine interest in meditation, spirituality, and the study of universal laws. Life seems to gain new colors, and what once seemed trivial now takes on deeper meaning. This is the essence of a spiritual connection, more than an emotional bond, it is an expansion of consciousness. This awakening is not only an internal change but also a practical one. Many begin seeking spiritual practices such as yoga, guided meditation, or deep reading. Works like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle or The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra become part of this new phase. Small actions, such as keeping a dream journal or taking a few minutes each day to quiet the mind, become important steps in this spiritual journey. A common story: someone began to realize they no longer felt satisfied with their routine, and they started exploring books, courses, and spiritual practices. As they deepened their path, they understood they were living a true inner calling, awakened by the presence of their twin flame. This is the moment when the relationship ceases to be just about two bodies and becomes about two evolving souls. And naturally, this path leads to the next sign: intense emotions. Sign 4, intense emotions. Being in the presence of your twin flame is like embarking on an intense emotional journey, where love and fear coexist so closely that it can be confusing. This spiritual connection awakens deep layers of the soul, bringing to light feelings often forgotten. It's not just passion, but an invitation to experience emotions in their purest and deepest form, as if it were training for the soul. These emotions can manifest unexpectedly: intense joy followed by deep insecurity, overwhelming desire accompanied by the fear of loss. It's as if the twin flame opens emotional portals that were previously closed, forcing the person to feel and process everything intensely. A simple conversation can become a revelation, and silence can speak louder than words. This is part of the spiritual journey, a process of expansion that goes beyond the physical relationship. A real example: someone told me that after deeply connecting with their twin flame, they began to perceive their own vulnerability as a strength. The love was so intense that it provoked fear, but also a desire to grow. They began exploring practices such as emotional meditation and energy healing to understand these waves. This shows that intense emotions are not obstacles, but clear signs of evolution. And this emotional opening naturally leads to the next sign: forced inner healing. Sign 5, forced inner healing. The presence of a twin flame acts as a powerful mirror that not only reflects but awakens the need for inner healing. Old emotional wounds, often kept deep within the soul, begin to surface. And this spiritual connection does not make this process easier, it intensifies it. It's as if life is saying, it's time to look within and heal what has been hidden. This requires courage and surrender, as it is a true journey of self-discovery. A practical example: someone realized that whenever there was conflict with their twin flame, an old pain related to abandonment and rejection would arise. That's when they understood they were not dealing solely with the other person, but with deep emotional patterns that needed to be transformed. Many on this path find support in energy therapies, Reiki, journaling, or practices such as family constellation work. These tools help to understand and transform these wounds, making them part of spiritual growth. This healing process goes beyond eliminating suffering, it redefines the way you live and connect. It's like restoring an inner temple, each healed wound becomes a stone that strengthens your spiritual structure. The twin flame, in this aspect, is not only a partner but also a guide and catalyst. And when this inner healing begins to consolidate, the next inevitable sign emerges, the calling to your life's mission. Sign 6, the calling to your life's mission. After meeting your twin flame, a deep restlessness arises, the desire to align your existence with a greater purpose. It's not just about loving or being loved, it's about feeling that your life holds a deeper meaning. This spiritual connection awakens an inner calling that was often dormant, opening the door to a new phase of your spiritual journey. This calling manifests in different ways, a growing desire to help others, the wish to create something meaningful, or even profound changes in one's career. It's as if the universe were saying, you are ready to serve something greater. Many find inspiration in artistic practices, volunteering, or activities that involve spiritual growth. Books like The Celestine Prophecy or The Awakening of a New Consciousness help to better understand this process. An interesting story: someone experienced a radical change after connecting with their twin flame. Before, they sought material stability, but afterwards they began to desire contributing to a greater purpose involving spirituality and self-development. This transformation is not imposed, but emerges as a deep inner calling. And when the soul answers this call, the final sign appears, the union of energy, even in separation. Sign 7, union of energy, even in separation. One of the most striking signs of connection with your twin flame is realizing that even in physical distance, there is a very deep energetic union. It's as if you are connected by invisible threads that transmit presence, feelings, and even silent messages. This spiritual connection does not disappear with separation, on the contrary, it strengthens, showing that the journey goes far beyond the physical. Some people describe this as feeling the other's presence without a logical explanation, a shiver, a sudden memory, or vivid dreams. Others report small coincidences, a song playing at just the right moment, or encountering symbols that refer to the bond, as signs from the universe. This shows that the union is not limited by space or time, but manifests in a continuous energetic exchange, sustained by the awareness of both souls. A curious example: someone told me that even years after separation, they could sense when their twin flame was going through difficult moments, without any direct contact. This perception was accompanied by subtle signs, such as images and thoughts appearing seemingly by chance. This confirms that the twin flame is not just an earthly relationship, but a spiritual experience that echoes across all dimensions of existence. And this continuous energy opens the way to the transformative conclusion that closes this journey. When you understand the depth of the relationship with your twin flame, you realize that it did not come to fill a void, but to awaken the soul. Each sign, each challenge, and each intense moment are invitations to evolve, transcend, and dive into a new dimension of consciousness. It's not about an ordinary romance, it's about a true spiritual journey of growth and expansion. The twin flame acts as a catalyst, a mirror, and a transformative force. It challenges us, illuminates us, and above all, teaches us that the deepest love is not about possession, but about awakening to our own essence. This experience brings a different understanding of spirituality, that true love is, above all, a path toward awakening and inner healing. So, reflect: have you noticed any of these signs in your life? This journey is unique and transformative. Share your experience in the comments, because your story may help others who are on this path as well. And if this content resonated with you, like it, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you can keep learning about spirituality and soul growth. Now, to continue your expansion, watch the video on the end screen, Truths about Twin Flames and Spiritual Awakening. Thank you for staying until here. See you there.